All right, so we got Dr. Charlie Miller here with AccuVant, and just want to talk about some cool stuff. So what you got, Dr. Miller?
I guess I just could talk a little bit about Android and iOS and sort of compare them. I get asked this question a lot about what's the most secure mobile operating system. And basically, I'd have to say between those two, iOS is quite a bit more secure. Even though I pick on it a lot and I broke into it for a known. So it's not invincible by any means, but it's better. And so if you look at the way that there's basically two ways that code gets onto a system. One is through malware. So it's the stuff you download and run. So if you compare the two there, you have iOS, they have all the programs that have to go through the App Store. So Apple has a chance to look at them, and so while malware could get through there, it's less likely because if it did something really obvious, they wouldn't approve it. And then of course once it gets on your phone, if they find out that's bad, they can remotely remove it. I mean, on the Android side, there is no sort of equivalent to App Store. There's a Android marketplace, but there anyone can put it in and it doesn't get checked or anything like that. So it's sort of a more open environment. The problem with that is that it's easy to put malware there and people can download it onto their phones. And we've seen that too. So we've seen cases of Android malware, and not so much, maybe one or two iOS ones, and even those were sort of, it's not even clear they were malware. So in the malware arena, iOS has a big advantage just because there's so much more control by Apple there. So with control comes security, I guess. It's like everything else. But
so are you seeing more malware on the jailbroken phones when people are pulling it from unauthorized stores, that kind of thing?
Right. So once you jailbreak your phone, then everything's out the door. So then you can put programs that aren't from the App Store. And so you could see a lot more malware there, but we haven't seen that. So just the bad guys really aren't interested in mobile stuff so much yet. I think that's going to change. But then the other way that you can get code onto a phone as a bad guy is to just have an exploit. So this is what some people call drive-by downloads. And so there again, iOS is much stronger. So the big protections there are ASLR and depth, so memory randomization, and then differentiate between code and data. And Android doesn't do that at all. And basically all sort of desktop operating systems have done that for a while. And then iOS does ASLR and depth, so it's a lot harder to write exploits for iOS than Android. And then the final thing is sandboxing. So they both have sandbox models. They're different. The iOS one, there's one sandbox for all the apps from the App Store. They all have the same sandbox. So the bad news is that the sandbox can only be as strong as sort of the weakest app or whatever that you want to allow. Or on the Android side, they have the custom sandboxes where each app has to ask for what permissions it needs, and you have to approve that. And so there you get the sandbox is a lot tighter because it's per app. The bad news is then you're back to the situation where users are sort of in charge of their own security, and we've seen that doesn't really work very well. So if a user really wants to download some stupid app and it says it needs the internet and sending text messages, a lot of times they're going to say yes just because they really want the app, even though it's not a good security solution.
Nothing's changed.
Right. So Android relies a lot on the user and the community to enforce their security. And Apple just is like, from the top down, smash down security. And so, it's less open, but then, sort of the good thing is you get a little more security from it.
Cool. All right, Dr. Miller, we really appreciate it. Thanks. All right, see you.